Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm so excited. I'm using my all-time favorite. This is the Morphe palette 35OM. And as you guys know, I am Canadian. It is so hard to get Morphe products in Canada. I'm super excited about this palette. I use it almost every day. The Morphe products are just so well made. The shadows are pigmented, and especially this palette, it's got a very well-ranged color palette, so I can do very sort of dramatic like I've done right here, or you can do a little bit more daytime appropriate. Either way, I find it a very versatile palette. I use it quite frequently. Also, Morphe shadows, very pigmented, very blendable, which is super important to me. I want to be able to blend all the colors together nicely so that it looks a little bit more even. I'm sorry, I love my eyes right now. Like I am feeling this. So if you guys want to see how I got this look today, stay tuned. And if there's anything you guys want to see or any suggestions you have, please leave them in the comments down below. And as always, I will list everything I used today in the description box below. So let's get started. So to start off, I am using the MAC Paint Pot in the color Painterly to prime my eyes. It's a really amazing base. I use it every single day. It helps the shadows just sit and stay on your lid all day. I love it. So I've kind of shown you, I'm super excited. I'm using the Morphe 35OM palette, and I'm so excited. We can't get it in Canada anywhere without ordering it, and I found it recently, as you guys know. So right now I'm covering my entire eyelid with that sort of light brown color from the palette. I'm also using all e.l.f. brushes today. As I've mentioned before, I actually love e.l.f. brushes. They use synthetic fibers, like synthetic hair for the brushes, but they're so soft and fluffy, and I just find they blend all of the shadow I use very, very well. So I am a fan of them. I will link the website and the link to the product in the description box down below. So now I'm going in with the crease shade. It's a burnt light orange from the Morphe palette, and you can see I already have a bit of it on. I'm just darkening it a little bit. I'm not going up too far into my brow bone. I'm just doing in the crease here. I'm using the same e.l.f. brush as I used before, just because it has a little bit of that leftover product on it, but I just find it gives a nice base for the darker shadow that we're going to do on the outer corner. So now we're going in with that outer corner shade from the Morphe palette. It's like a deep red orange shade. I swear to you guys, I wear this shade like 2 or 3 times a week. It's one of my favorite shades from the palette. The color is so beautiful. I wear it to my job. I wear it casually as well. I just find you can do so much with it. So I'm using an e.l.f. crease brush here. And I find the crease brush, because it's a little bit more narrow, it allows me to deposit the color a little bit more intensely where I need it to. So as you can see, I'm applying the color just on the outer corner, and then I'm blending up and inwards towards the inner corner of the eye. You want the most color to be on the outer corner, just so it kind of blends from lightest to darkest. The key with this look, honestly, is to blend, blend, blend. You want everything to kind of mush together, as they say. We don't want any sort of strict lines. We just want colors moving nicely from one to the other. Also, because of that tape, you can be a little bit messier towards the outer corner, because once you take that tape away, it leaves sort of a sharp, crisp line, which is really easy to work with. So you honestly don't have to worry about getting it all over your face. Basically, that tape will stop it from going anywhere. And as you can see, I needed to sort of intense the color a little bit more. It wasn't dark enough for me, so I went in again with a little bit more of that exact same color, just to kind of apply the product and leave it in that outer corner and stop blending after that. I have this tendency to just blend, blend, blend and not stop blending. So then eventually the color fades. So I do have to sometimes go back in and kind of apply product and leave it there once it's been blended out. So now I'm just going back in with that big fluffy e.l.f. brush again, and I'm using that same transition color, and all I'm doing is running the brush with a little bit of product over top of where the darker outer corner color sort of stops and your brow bone begins, just to kind of blow out that smoky eye a little bit. I didn't want too much of an intense eye, but I did kind of feel like the line was too harsh, so I'm just taking that color, that transition color we used earlier, and blending it outwards. So now we're gonna do some eyeliner. So I am using a MAC 263 eyeliner brush, and once again with the tape, I just find this is the easiest way for me to do eyeliner. I joke with myself, but I just cannot, with a steady hand, draw a straight line. I mean, maybe I just need to spend a week sort of practicing, I don't know, but I find tape is fast, quick, and easy, so it works for me. I'm also using BH Cosmetics gel liner in black. It is a different consistency, which I've mentioned before, but it actually, I really like it. I find it really easy to work with. And as you can see, I'm taking the MAC eyeliner brush and I'm switching it depending on which side of my eye I'm working on. So to draw the line, I actually use the pointy tapered end of the brush to allow me to draw the straight line. And then to fill it in, I flip the brush backwards almost, so you're drawing the line from inner to outer corner. Again, I'm a little bit of a perfectionist, so I need to use the intense part of the mirror, so the magnified part of the mirror, to see what I'm doing. Otherwise, I can't guesstimate, as they call it. And as you can see, I'm thickening the line gradually. It's the best way for me to do it. It's the easiest way for me to do it. It's definitely a trick I've learned over the years from doing makeup. Start with a thinner line, and then as you want to make it more and more intense, just gradually thicken it slowly but surely. That way, if you screw up, it's easily fixable. So now that the liner is complete, we're going to remove the tape, and you will see this perfectly straight, amazing wing liner. And I'm telling you, this trick works every single time. It is perfect and it's super inexpensive. It's just Scotch tape. So we're going to move on to concealer. I am using the Maybelline Master Concealer. It's in the shade 20 Light. I am putting a little bit of concealer on my face beforehand because, as you can see, I have a little bit of imperfections. Today my skin has not been cooperating with me lately. Canadian winters, I'm sure girls can relate. So I've been adding just a little bit of concealer before I put my foundation on, just because it kind of helps to subdue the redness and subdue the imperfections. So I'm going in with a L'Oreal True Match. It is one of my favorite drugstore foundations. I also use Maybelline Fit Me as well, but those two are my absolute favorite drugstore foundations. And I'm using, again, with the e.l.f. flat top powder brush. It reminds me of a kabuki brush, but it works so well. It was actually recommended to me and I stumbled upon it by accident, but I've absolutely fallen in love with it, and it is really inexpensive. I think I paid $3 or $4 for the brush. It was probably at a Walmart or a Shoppers, but it just spreads the product so well when I'm blending, and it allows me to add a little bit more where I need it to, or blend it out a little bit more if I have to. So I absolutely love it. I recommend that you guys try it, give it a shot, let me know what you think. So after you've done basically blending your entire face, we're going to move on with some concealer. Again, just under the under eyes. I always do this. This is a step I never miss. I feel like my eyes show when I'm tired all the time, and this is a great sort of way to get that flawless finish that you want with your foundation. So I'm using the exact same concealer that I used underneath my foundation. I put a little bit under my eyes in sort of a triangle shape. This kind of helps to blend it a little bit more. I'm also doing it on the top of my nose Then I'm going to blend it all out with a beauty blender. This one is from Physicians Formula. I got it at Walmart again. You want to make sure that the blender is damp before you go in and blend everything out. You want to make sure you're setting that product, you're not actually removing it. And with a dry sponge, you will end up removing product that you put there in the first place. And we don't want that. You did all that work just to take it all off. That's silly. So you want to continue to blend with that sponge until everything is spread out evenly. Once it's blended, you want to make sure that you set concealer. That way it doesn't look cakey over time. So I actually discovered this, again, another e.l.f. product. I'm actually very impressed with e.l.f. lately. I mean, they've been doing so well with their product. This is an HD press powder, so like a finishing powder, and I've actually decided to put it all over my face because I really just wanted to see how it wears throughout the day. And I'm telling you, this powder is incredible. It set my foundation to the point where, you know, I went to work, I came home 8 hours later, and my foundation looked exactly the same. So I was super excited about it. So I usually let the powder sit for a minute and I'll move on to my eyebrows. I find eyebrows boring, so I'm going to do this super quickly. I brush them out with a spoolie brush. This one is by BH Cosmetics. I like the smaller ones better. And I am now taking a Rimmel London eyebrow pencil. Again, it was something from Shoppers. It's a drugstore product as well, but it was one of the best ones that I have found. The color actually is perfect for my shade, and they had quite a big range of colors. So all I'm doing is drawing the outline of my eyebrow and filling in exactly where I drew it out. My eyebrows have always been somewhat difficult. Maybe this is why I have bangs normally, but I have found the best advice I can give with eyebrows is when you're to get somebody to shape them for you. So whether you get them waxed or whether you get them threaded, I personally prefer threading. Yeah, it's a little bit more painful, but I find it lasts longer and it looks a little bit nicer. But get someone to do it for you, and seriously, like, go every 3 weeks like you're supposed to. It just makes all the difference in the world, and it makes filling them in that much easier. So now to continue with the eyes, I'm just taking a black kohl liner. I think this one is by NYC. I'll list it down below. And I'm just lining from the outer corner to almost to the inner corner, not quite. I would match up the bottom liner to the top liner. So however far you took in the winged liner is how far you want to go with the lower lash line liner. But I find this kind of unifies the whole look and intensifies it a little bit more. You can leave this step out if you want to not have such a dramatic eye. But I really liked it. So I'm going in again with Voluminous L'Oreal mascara, the Blackest black color. This is my favorite drugstore mascara. I absolutely love it. I do not use fake lashes, so I need something that's going to sort of lengthen my lashes but intensify them a little bit. I find I have very long lashes, so I don't necessarily need fake lashes. I do use them sometimes, but on a day-to-day, I just use this mascara and I find it looks beautiful, guys, and I don't need anything else. False lashes look absolutely beautiful, and they can complete a look sometimes. So I mean, do it, rock it if you can rock it. So now going in with a MAC lipstick. I'm absolutely in love with these new matte liquid lip colors. This one is in the shade Burnt Spice. I have a relationship with MAC lipstick and their lip glosses. I love the texture. Their colors are so unique and just so different. So I have a relationship with them every time I go to a MAC store. I mean, it's emotional for me. So that's the lip color. Absolutely love it. I'm just going in on my face with a little bit of bronzer. I think I'm using a BH Cosmetics bronzer. But again, I will list the exact one that I used in the shade that I used down below. So to complete the look, I'm going to use a little bit of MAC Fix Plus. It just kind of sets your makeup and keeps it long lasting throughout the day. So thank you guys so much. This is the completed look. Thank you so much for watching, and hopefully we will see you next time. Thanks, guys.